First, several special guests will be sitting in the audience for tonight's address. One group being the families of the Americans held captive or murdered by Hamas. There are 8 American hostages believed to still be in Gaza. In a letter to Congress, their families are urging lawmakers to show solidarity by wearing yellow ribbons and dog tags. So joining us now, North Carolina Republican Senator Ted Budd, who has invited one of those families to be his special guest tonight. Senator, thank you so much for giving us some of your time. How significant is it to you to have these family members as your guests, for families of these hostages to be at tonight's speech to the nation?
You know, it's especially significant since we've got a North Carolinian, Keith Siegel, that's still there. So it's going to be his family. It's going to be his sister and niece. It'll be Lucy and Hannah Siegel. But look, we're thinking of 8 hostages that were American citizens. 6 that we know and pray are still living. And we need Qatar to step up, and we need to send a signal that we're never going to forget them until they're all home. Look, we all want this to be over, but we need to get these hostages home. We need to give Israel the breadth that they need to do what they need to do, but make sure to remember the hostages, particularly those that are still there from the U.S. So tonight's very significant. It's been 152 days since October 7th, but we're not going to forget them. We're going to remember them each and every day.
Absolutely. And Senator, obviously, you know, this does hit close to home, particularly with the Siegel family there. Is enough being done, in your estimation, to bring these hostages home?
Look, we want to lean on our partners and our allies. Egypt has stepped up. They've been very helpful, other friends in the Middle East. But what we really need is Qatar to do something. At first, they said they had leverage and they were willing to help, but they have done absolutely nothing to help other than posture. So we need them to be aggressive, to do what they need to do. And if they're going to host Hamas, the Politburo, in Doha, then they need to actually use that leverage. If not, they need to extradite them, perhaps to the U.S., so that they can go to trial and be punished for enabling the terrorism since October 7th.
You know, and Senator, we know that a ceasefire deal is so closely connected to a hostage deal. What do you think will be key to getting the hostages home?
I think, look, we need every bit of intelligence that we can. We need to make sure that we never forget them, that we're that we keep it in front of Netanyahu and his wartime government. And look, we need to do everything we can, and just make sure we keep them in front of the rest of the world to know how important this is. They've got a very important mission to demilitarize Gaza, to de-radicalize the population in Gaza, and to make sure to eliminate Hamas. But once we do that, we need to make sure in the middle of all that we bring the hostages home.
You know, and Senator, there is very vocal dissent here in the U.S. to what's happening in Gaza. It's obvious that it will come up tonight during the president's speech. How do you think what's happening here will impact what happens there?
Well, Israel needs to have the latitude. Look, they're a sovereign nation. They need to have the latitude to do what they need to do to carry out the response to the atrocities 152 days ago. And remember, there's 2 wars. There's the one that started on October 7th, and then there's the one on October 8th, and that is on our college campuses. That's the information war, either from the radical left in conjunction with Hamas and with those that would enable them. So we have to push back against both.
All right, Republican Senator Ted Budd of North Carolina, thank you so much for giving us some of your time.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.